Welcome to the Grateful Tap podcast, where we are exploring healing, inspiration, and rock and roll with your hosts, Deanna Lyons and yours truly, Steph Dodds. Thank you for hanging out with us today.
Welcome to the party. Welcome to the Grateful Tap podcast. Steph and I have been talking behind the scenes, and we're excited to share with you today. We got the brainstorm that we want to do a self-care series, and of course, our podcast really is a lot about self-care anyway. But this is going to be way beyond the bubble bath, and part of that was one of the things that Steph likes to do a few times throughout the year is something that's called 75 hard, and I'll let her explain about that in a minute. And then we had these brainstorms of all these cool things that we'll be sharing with you in the coming episodes of different forms of self-care that we like and that we use. And of course, we'll also want to hear from you. You might have things that you do that we can talk about too. So we'll open up the floor for those suggestions as well. And then I said to Steph, oh, I really want to be able to help you chronicle your 75 hard journey because it's 75 days of a really disciplined form of self-care. And I wasn't sure, should we separate out the 75 day chronicle from our self-care series? And they're they're intertwined. So yes, we'll probably have markings that if you're somebody that likes the concept of 75 hard, we'll keep track of those for you. And then our self-care series beyond the bubble bath is also going to be inclusive of that and so much more. So with that being said, I think should we pull cards first or introduce 75 hard? What do you think, Steph?
Yeah, I feel like I want to do a little intro, and I just pulled these cards in their, excuse my language, effing perfect for the 75 hard journey. So, first, I just want to share like what is 75 hard? It is a program, it's free, anyone can do it, and it is 75 days of a practice every single day. And for some reason, I have snatched onto this to this practice and I love it. And it is not easy. It is hard. It is called 75 hard for a reason, but it has become my greatest self-care. And I never saw that coming. So that's kind of why Deanna and I were talking about how it's intertwined and how self-care really is beyond the bubble bath. It can be, yes, self-care could be a bubble bath, or it could be going and getting dental work and spending $600 for this pain, but that could be your highest form of self-care. So for 75 hard, it is 75 days where you twice a day do a 45-minute workout, and they have to be 3 hours apart. And the whole goal is for it to be inconvenient. And one of those workouts has to be outside. The second thing is 10 pages of a nonfiction book. Read 10 pages a day. So some of us are natural readers, and that's really quick, no big deal. Some of us that could take a little bit longer, and it's like a huge deal to get that in. The third one is a gallon of water every single day. The fourth is follow a diet. There's no designated diet. You choose your own diet. But you just have to stick to your own diet, and then take a progress picture every single day for 75 days. And there are all these different gifts, and there are totally different tasks. And for some reason, I freaking love it. And it really is my self-care. And I've attempted it many times now, but this time, yeah, I've completed it twice, and I'm gearing up to do it in about 2 weeks. But I just pulled some cards for self-care slash 75 hard. And whenever we pull cards, if one card pops out or two, you just go with the energy. And guess what? Today, three popped out, and I think they're freaking perfect. And I have to hold them in this perfect order too. So the first one is deer, deer spirit. This is from my animal spirit oracle cards. So let me show you the book. So the animal spirit oracle cards by Colette Baron Reed, who's like my fave. So deer is bring a gentle touch, which I think is self-care. When we be bring treat little treat ourselves with care and be gentle in that. The second one, seahorse spirit, which is watch and wait. Like we think it's like, oh, I'm gonna take a bubble bath and I feel better. Yeah, there's that immediate, or this is what this means to me. There's that immediate gratification, but sometimes 75 days or doing something for I'm gonna do this for 21 days or 30 days or 45 days or 75 days or for this year. The, there's a progress. You want to watch and wait. And then we have Badger Spirit. No, yeah, Badger Spirit, which just cracks me up. And it's be fearless and bold. Be fearless and bold. It takes all of these. It takes being kind to yourself. That discipline can be the kindest thing you can do for yourself. It takes time and patience and trying again every day. And if you fail, getting back up again and again and again and again. And we don't have to rush it, you know. And then being fearless and bold and going for it. And and so to me, this really spoke to
And,
me.
right, it falls right in line with what you're doing.
Hmm.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
really cool. I'm excited for you. And I've witnessed Steph go through it and not always make it through the full 75 days. I've also witnessed her when she's actually made the full 75 days. And I've thought about it, but I haven't felt like it's something that I could honestly commit myself to doing and seeing myself through in that way. So I have other things that I'm doing that are discipline for me, and I'll share those another day. But uh, this was just too cool, and we're also catching it before Steph starts. And so I wanted to ask you, Steph, that you've decided to do this in a couple of weeks. And so there's some mental preparation and there's some physical preparation that's going into it. And I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, for me, it's something that it's very grounding when I can feel myself swaying off course, if you will, of my goals, my intentions. This I know I'm ready to do 75 hard again. And my goal is honestly to do it once a year for the rest of my life. And for me, not everybody maybe needs to do this, but I need to get mentally prepared. And it is a mental toughness program. A lot of people think it's a fitness program, and it's not. Sure, working out is a part of it, but it's really the mental toughness. And I'm talking about this reminds me of something else I wanted to share about. I'm just going to share it now. I went on a trip this last year. I got home about 3 months ago and I got sick, really, really, really sick on the end of the trip to the point where I didn't think I could get on a plane. And and I know because doing 75 hard and doing my mental toughness training is the only reason I got home.
Yeah.
So it's not just a physical, I'm doing a workout challenge. It is so far beyond that. Like it's a training in digging deep. It's a training in not letting our mind get in the way. It's a training um in yeah, mental toughness. And what's so fascinating about it is that as you prep, like I'm prepping right now, and I'm thinking, okay, you know, we still maybe have a month or two of snow left where I am. Like one of the workouts is going to be outdoors, and I'm thinking, am I gonna ski? Am I gonna, you know? take my yoga mat outside and do a little workout? Am I going to go for a walk? Is there going to be ice on the ground? Like you are always like using strategy, and it's a strategy program of like, I'm not letting this obstacle stop me anymore. Like I'm going to strategize. I'm thinking ahead. I'm thinking 10 steps ahead. And gosh, what do I else would I want to say about that? So if I know I'm going to be working out every day, I want to start now. I don't want to be like go a lot of people when they start working out go super hard right away and then they're horribly sore for multiple days and then or they get injured and then we fall off again. And I'm like, no, I got to start now. I got to start now. And then, especially with the diet for me, I'm a pretty darn good eater, and I have been for a long time. But so my diet is a little bit different than most people would do. I just take a break from my problem, quote unquote, problem foods for me. I'm not like a huge sweet tooth, but like crunchy, salty chips, I will eat a bag of chips until my jaw hurts. Like I just love it.
That's
So,
why you and I are friends.
yeah. And I just that's okay. I love that about myself, and I know I need to take breaks. And then for the Super Bowl, I was like, "We're eating chips today," and then I enjoy it when I want to enjoy it. And so that's my best self-care is enjoying the heck out of the food. But for 75 hard, I don't eat French fries, I don't eat chips, and I don't eat candy. And then I just do my like pretty regular balanced healthy diet, and that's what works for me. And I can go beyond that. Like last time I did it, I didn't do coffee for 5 or 6 weeks. I can't remember now, but I like to experiment with myself, my body and my health, and that's the only way really learn if I try something myself. And I needed a break because I can abuse coffee too. So, um, that's the diet that I do, but moving forward, like, oh, okay, I'm gonna start prepping my fridge and just start to get in the energy of eating this way and moving this way before I start, so that I'm setting myself up for success instead of crash and burn of like I didn't even go to the store and oh my gosh, I've been eating chips for 2 weeks and now I'm gonna have more withdrawals or I don't know if am I
All
making
of those things. No, that
yeah.
makes sense. One of the other questions that I had as you were talking is, how did you pick the time of year or the date that you chose? Because I think that's also going to be really important.
There's not, I guess a lot goes into that and then it just happens. I usually try to do it in March every year. And if I succeed, I'm good for the year. And if not, I try to do it again in the fall. And that is because yeah, getting like doing it before summer because I feel like there's just a lot of fun things to do and travel and summertime, and then in the dead of winter, getting a workout in outside is not easy to do. And so I try to do it in the spring or in the fall. So last year I made it to day 35, I think, in March. And the time there was no snow in the forecast when I decided to do it. And then it snowed every day in March. So I was outside walking. Oh, this is what I was going to say. I was outside walking in the snow. And what's so interesting and fascinating, blows my mind, it keeps me hooked on this, is that you kind of dread the hard days. And you're like, oh, I don't know if I can do it. Oh gosh, why the heck am I doing this to myself? My girlfriend and I like joked, like, about to go for my stupid walk today. But then I go and I walk in the snow for 45 minutes and I come back and I am so freaking proud of myself. Those hard days that you were scared of, that you were avoiding, that you would do anything not to feel the hard or the pain of that ends up being your favorite freaking day or your favorite workout.
Yeah, yeah.
It happens every time.
Do you journal along the way too to kind of remind yourself of those things, or you just tuck it away in your memory?
I do a little bit of journaling, but you know what I do, and it's an invitation to everybody to I do a video journal. And that's how I like to remember things and journal things. Sometimes I take pictures or take little videos of things, and then I can kind of reminisce as I scroll through them on my phone. And I post every single day on my Instagram page of the day, day one, day two, day three. Sometimes I post twice a day, sometimes not. But um, I, not everybody needs that accountability, but I know if I'm posting it, somebody's going to be like, where's your post? So not everybody needs that, but and I don't even necessarily recommend it, but when you're like, I have this goal, I'm going to tell 5 people. I need that because I really care about being my word, and so that'll make me show up more. So I do a video, what is that, a vlog? Video, not, it's not a blog, video journal, and I
Yeah,
keep it on there, and it is so fun to go back and watch.
yeah,
I
because it
do it
moves
I
on.
do it for me, even though it's for everybody else, but it's really for me and my own tracking it of like, gosh, I remember day 6 was the hardest day. Or maybe it's day 66. And it's different every time. It reminds me of yoga in the way of like the practice is the same, but you're different.
Yeah, each day it's different because
Mhm.
you're different. Yeah, you
Mhm.
show up differently. So you kind of in a way answered one of the questions that I had, but I'm going to still expand on it. Is so you use posting as a way to, like I say, to have a friend. And I think you also mentioned that you have a friend that's done it with you in the past. Do you always have a friend? Do you have somebody coming up? Do you have a few people? Do you have a group that you participate with? How do you do that or not?
That's a great question. I usually start out with about 3 friends and they make it to about day 15 and I finish by myself. Um,
Which is
this
why
last,
I haven't done it with you.
and that's okay. Some of them have started, and then this last time, I mean, keep in mind this is, time 4 or 5, and this last time, or okay, so people follow me on Instagram, and one time I failed for they call it failed, but it's not a negative connotation. It's like, oh, I failed, I get back up again. And it's so silly. I was gonna have my second indoor workout be going line dancing with my friend because you sweat. I don't know if you've been line dancing lately, but it is a workout. And then I got done with my client and she couldn't go, and I just like laid in bed and I totally forgot to do it. And my friend teased me, "You mean to tell me that you failed 75 hard because you forgot to go line dancing?" I'm like, yes, actually that's true. That's what happened. But I posted about it and I'm honest because the whole thing is there's no 75 hard police that are going to follow you around and make sure you're doing it. It is self accountability. You find where you're lying to yourself of I'm doing this or not doing this. And that's a whole nother level of I think self-care of like being honest with yourself. And so when I posted that I failed, I'd had like 4 people online, my followers, say, I'm gonna do it with you next time. Tell me when you're gonna do it. So I got more community that way. And then this last year, um, one of my besties did it the whole time, and my boyfriend did it. And honestly, I'm totally in love with my boyfriend in like every way. And when he first told me that he was gonna do it, I was like, yeah, right. Like that's cute. Everybody says they're gonna do it with me. Like, good luck. And the fact that he showed up every day and finished with me, I was like, okay, I'm in. Like we're in. Like it was like this whole nother level of commitment and communicating. Are we gonna walk together today? Are we not? So I've long-winded answer to your question. I've done it by myself. I've started with people. I've ended with people now. And you can do it either way. It's way easier with other people. Way easier.
Yeah, I would imagine
And
so.
yeah, but it's not impossible to do.
So the other thing that you said, and I think would be good to clarify, like you said, you didn't go line dancing. So it was a failure, but like you said, it could you could look at it as something terrible. That's not how you looked at it. It's just it was part of the commitment. And so that meant that if you wanted to keep going, what happens? Like, do you start again at day one from that point, or what happens?
You start again at day one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And how were you with yourself when that happened? Like you said, you part of your accountability was just to say, "Hey, I forgot, I fell asleep," and so this particular part of the journey ends. I could see myself being hard on myself about that, even though I'm not supposed to. I think I might struggle with that a little bit. So I'm just curious, what did you notice happened for yourself when that happened? What was the next thing that transpired?
It really, that word failure used to just bother me and feel really shitty. And I am not afraid of it anymore because of this. Because we use the word, oh, I failed. And it's like, I like that, like, drill sergeant kind of stuff. Not everybody's into that, but I feel like with that I can have softness. So to me, I was like, I failed, I owned it, I was honest with myself, and I don't feel the negative connotation with that because I feel like if we're not failing, we're not trying. And so my goal is always to fail better, fail better, fail better. If I didn't fail at something every day, I am not doing anything. So to me, it's a practice, right? I didn't start that way. I beat myself up the first couple times, but then I was like, I failed. I'm gonna start over, not sure when, but I was so proud of those 35 days. And it's something, oh, here's another point. I used to, I think, be a little bit addicted. I'm way, way better now, but to that outside validation. And I think all of us can be. It feels good to be validated outside. Like, I know I did a fantastic job those 35 days. Like, I was out there. It's this weird, different level of self-validation that I haven't been able to give myself in other ways. Like, it's almost like you're in a secret club, like no one's out here at 6 a.m. walking right now. And I am. And I feel like I'm in my secret club of like, I freaking did that. And it gives me more confidence than somebody else giving me validation, or if that makes sense.
It does, because I sometimes when I'm doing things like that, I like say I'll be out there walking or whatever it is I might be doing, and then I like say there's a little pride in it that this is something I'm doing for myself, and I've got this. I'm I'm doing what I wanted to do and what I set out to do. One of the reasons why I haven't done it either is because in the past, dieting and those kinds of really rigid things for me would then lead to sort of a rebound where, okay, I'm not going to have, uh, candy or whatever, the things that you said, or whatever else it might be. And then after the set amount of days, well, game on, right? um, Either that or it would cause me to actually binge on them when I wasn't supposed to be because I couldn't have those things. So I'm
Mhm.
curious if you dealt with any of that and if or not, kind of well obviously during if it happens then you're done with that particular round. But so I guess probably afterwards, do you find that you rebound with those things that you've taken out of your diet for a little while?
That is an amazing question. And I think the only reason that I don't beat myself up about that is or rebound is because of tapping. And I just that's another form of self-care, really clear about my expectations of myself. And like I'm not saying I can't have the chips ever again. I'm saying like just these 75 days. And there's been, like, and you don't drink also during the 75 days, which is a big deal. For a lot of people, that's not a big deal. For me, it was a big deal because I do like to have a glass of wine from time to time. So there were days where I was like, oh man, that was a stressful day at work. And I would just put my feet up and have a glass of wine and eat a bunch of chips. But I'm going for my stupid walk. Even though it's an amazing practice.
Yeah.
But the gift in that is you get an opportunity to learn. I will never forget. It was probably my first time doing it. I had a worst day at work ever. Like this project I've been working on was just crashing and burning. It was out of my control. I talked about this job on the last podcast, I think. But I literally told my boss, I worked at a health club, and I was like, this stupid thing is, I'm having the worst day ever. And I'm like, I'm going to be drinking wine by the pool. Like, that's where I'm at for the rest of the day. I cried. I, I didn't drink, but I thought about it a lot. Thought about it a lot. And I came home from work. I was texting my bestie. And I'm like, it's only day 9. I could just throw in the towel and have too much Chardonnay and eat a bunch of chips and I fantasized about that and I went over and over and over with it and she was like so supportive. She's like, it would be fine if you did that. Either way is totally fine what you decide to do. Manage that with the wine and chips and the tears and the whatever and I said, "Oh my God, like that permission, I'm in charge. I do get to choose. Maybe that's not the right time for it." But I was like, "Okay, this is what I'm gonna do. I'm gonna ride my bike for 45 minutes and then I'll decide." And then I could still call and I rode my bike so aggressively. I was getting out all that anger and frustration. And usually I chill on my Peloton and I was expressing all of that emotion. I think I was crying on my bike. I wasn't ready. I didn't know I was going to talk about this today, but I cried and rode. And after 45 minutes, I felt so much better. And I was like, you know what? I'm going to hang on. I'm going to get to day 9. I'm going to do it. And so that was the beauty. Like, I got to learn about myself in that moment of like, oh, I could use these tools to cope or not. And what if I didn't shame myself for either decision I made that day? you know? And then back to your question. And so anyways, I think that was the first time I finished that 75 hard. And then at the end, I've been fantasizing about cake and all the things at the end. And even this last time I got a little cake for Mark and I, 75 hard complete and we were just fantasizing about cookies this whole like months. And then I ate a couple cookies and I honestly felt a little like, oh, too much sugar. And I got the thing, and this brings me back to tapping and self-care. I had this amazing session with my client a couple weeks ago now, and we were tapping on cravings for this one cake that she likes, and she's like, Steph, it never does what you think it's gonna do. It never does. And I felt that same, I learned so much from my clients. It's mutually beneficial. I'm like, that has been stayed with me of like the wine never does what I think it's gonna do. The online shopping, the cake. Like honestly, I had like some wine and some cake and I had a headache the next day and I felt all puffy and I was like, well, I did it. It never gives me what I think it's gonna give me. But that completion of the program gave me way more. So it's really just that's the thing, it's the winning the battle with yourself, and everybody's battle is a little different.
Yeah, which is what is kind of cool about it, because you are designing it. There's some protocols that you follow, but then there's also you can make it in a way that really works for you. So it's different for everybody what they choose to do. Yeah.
Mm, yeah. Thank you for letting me talk about it because I feel really nerdy and fired up about it. Like,
Yeah, what's your thing, and it's something that you find really beneficial, and I can see it also gives you that compare and contrast. People do things like this in other ways, in religious terms, fasting for 40 days before receiving communion or during Easter. And those are things that it's not uncommon to, see these in different areas of people's lives for different reasons. And and then, for some of us, it's that have struggled, with disordered eating, it feels too much for me. But that doesn't mean that I don't respect you and admire what you're doing and see that it can be beneficial for somebody else.
mhm,
So there's, different things for different people at different times in their lives. And I just love because I've been witness to it. I've watched you now over the years commit to it, and and I've seen that it's really helped you in so many ways. Like you said, when you came back from that trip, this year, I mean, it was really bad what was happening, and yet having had that mental toughness really paid off getting you home. Um, and then the way you were just talking, right? Okay, yeah, I think I really want it. And then all of a sudden I realize that it's not giving me what I wanted. And I think some abstinence from things, whatever those substances are, can be beneficial in the right environment and with the right timing and all the different things. And outlook, the outlook on it. So um because we are also tappers and we kind of touched a little bit on it, feels like maybe we should just do a little tapping on, what you're about to do. And for some people, it's like the thing to do, and for some people, it's not.
mhm.
And that's okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. And that's another thing I love about tapping is because I feel like when we do it, we clear our field that we're drawn to the right thing for us.
Mm,
And
yeah.
and for me this just it just does it for me. I can't explain. I love it. I love Andy Frisella. He's not for everyone. But it inspires me so much and it helped. And I created a daily practice in my app because of this. And I want to be clear that I'm not improving on 75 hard. I think it's perfect and I'm not improving on it. I need it still and love it and want to do it. But I created something called Feel Good 45, and it's for giving yourself 45 minutes of self-care for 45 days. And it's tapping, meditation, 2 minutes of dancing, 20 minutes of movement. And it's what I like to do between those harder things to do. And yeah, so thank you for letting me talk about it. I get so fired up. And let's do some tapping on it. And I think originally we were going to do a chronological, but I feel like this is a whole episode that I got to nerd out on this. Thank you. And then maybe we'll do one when I'm done, or maybe between. We'll see. We'll see how it goes. But every time I I finish, I'm like, there's so many nuggets. I want to write them down. I want to document them because it's integration. How are you gonna move forward? Because a lot of times people do these challenges, oh, I'm gonna do this for 10 days. And then, you know, after you just go back and you didn't integrate any kind of nuggets of wisdom or gifts. And that's what our whole podcast is about, of like, what's the nugget that we
Right.
get?
Yeah.
So yeah, how should we tap? Do you want me to tap or you to tap?
Um, yeah, why don't you, if you don't mind, go ahead and start and then I'll jump in.
Yeah. Oh, even though I'm about to embark on this 75 hard journey again.
Yeah, even though Steph's about to embark on this 75 hard journey again.
Yeah, and I've got some tingles of excitement and fear and all the things.
There's tingles of excitement and fear and all the things.
Yeah, I love myself for knowing that discipline is a part of my self-care.
And loving myself, knowing that discipline is part of my self-care
Yeah.
in different ways.
Yeah, in different ways. Oof, this nervous feeling.
This nervous feeling,
Yeah, self-doubt can come up.
self-doubt can come up.
Just because I did it in the past doesn't mean I can do it again.
Just because I did it in the past doesn't mean I can do it again.
And this fear of things being hard.
This fear of things being hard.
Yeah, sometimes I don't feel very mentally tough.
Sometimes I don't feel very mentally tough.
Yeah, but what I love is I'm getting to know myself better every day.
But what I love is getting to know myself better and better every day.
Yeah, learning my strengths and my weaknesses.
Learning my strengths and weaknesses.
Yeah, learning to strategize.
Learning to strategize.
Yeah, learning to make myself care first so that I can be of service to others.
Learning to make myself care first so I can be of service to others.
Yeah. Um, Even though I have not felt very mentally tough in the past,
And even though I've not felt mentally tough in the past,
I am so grateful for these tools that help me on my journey.
I'm so grateful for these tools that help me on my journey.
Thank you for this tapping and meditation.
Thank you for this tapping and meditations.
Thank you for this ability to move my body still.
Thank you for the ability to move my body still.
Thank you for, yeah. Thank you to myself
Thank you
for
to
all this hard
myself
work.
for all this hard work.
Yeah, and may I allow myself to integrate and get the nuggets that will be helpful.
And may I allow myself to get the nuggets that and integrate what may be helpful.
Yeah, and even if I need to be playful and call it a stupid walk,
Even if I need to be playful and call it a stupid walk.
and I might forget mid challenge my why.
Might forget mid-challenge my why.
Yeah, I want to send my future self and all my future selves
I
this,
want to send my future self and all my future selves
yeah, this self-love and care,
this self-love and care.
even if it looks different than a lot of other people might think.
Well, even if it looks different than a lot of other people might think.
I have to tell you one quick more little story with that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I met my sweetie on day 26 last year, and everyone at our friend's birthday party, and everyone there was like, 7,500, you're crazy. I would never do that. That's insane. You're this, you're this, you're this. Like, and I just get used to it now where it doesn't bother me if people just judging my process. And
Mhm.
I remember talking in front, and it was the first time I met Mark, and he was like so impressed with me. And I'm like, I remember talking about it and being like, oh well, like our friend was hooking us up together. And I'm like, oh well, I'm being me. If he doesn't like me, if he thinks I'm crazy, oh well. And now we talk about it in hindsight, and he's like, I thought that was so badass that you were, you know, you were doing that.
That you were willing to do that, to stand out and do your thing. It's beautiful. It's really cool. And I applaud you. It's not for me at this time. Maybe one of these days I might decide to join you or modify it in my own way or do my own thing. And I certainly do some of my own things, and I'll share more about those in another episode. But I really wanted to take this time to share this important thing for Steph, because when we talk about self-care, it is bubble baths are great, but this is beyond the bubble bath. This is, you know, different things work for different people. And so that's what we want to promote, is what works for you. So if you're inspired by Steph's journey and what she's doing, well, let us know. And some of the things that I share will be softer and they might not inspire some people. That's okay. Different things for different people.
Mm.
What we know we want to share with you is the things that make us help us feel good and help us feel better and better all the time. And so we're gonna share those things with you and hope that you can glean some nuggets from whatever we do. And we'd love to glean nuggets from you too. So please share those with us, so that we can all win and we can all grow and feel better all the time.
Amen, sister.
All right. Till next time.
Yeah.
Thank you. Ready to start your own life-changing journey with EFT? Connect with Steph and I. We're going to be co-teaching EFT Level 1 and Level 2 workshop this year. It's a great opportunity to gain foundational skills and transform your life and the lives of others. Check out the links below where you can learn more about the workshop coming up in August of 2026, where you can also secure your spot. And then also, if you'd like to follow us, check out the links to our social media and like, subscribe, and share this episode and let others spread the word for the Grateful Tap. Thanks so much. We look forward to seeing you next time.